Hey y'all, welcome back to Neon's Movie Reviews. I'm Neon, and this is my review channel. Got my buddy Nate here.
So,
Today we are talking about Snowden, Oliver Stone film. But before I dive into that, just want to say if you enjoy this channel, please give this video a like, really helps it out. And a couple weeks into the Summer of Nic Cage, still got a couple more weeks to go. So please please subscribe for a lot more content like this, and if you want to be notified of it, actually hit the little bell in the corner. But Snowden, I just saw this for the first time.
I've seen it 1.5 times. 1.5 times.
Yes. What were your thoughts on this?
I like Joseph Gordon-Levitt's performance in it. As far as the overall message, that we can talk about that in a little bit, but visually, I think it's kind of consistent with his work, more like Born on the 4th of July, something like along those lines visually, as far as the cuts,
Yeah.
things like that. But tonally, it's a little more direct than JFK. Like we had talked about before, I kind of felt like JFK was just kind of like, here's some political nonsense. I'm not saying it's true, but I'm not saying it's not.
Right.
And this is more of a biopic.
Right. This is much more based on facts, but it's just, I do feel it's just very direct, though. It almost...
You feel like it's almost no storytelling?
Well, no.
No dramatization?
No, almost oversimplifying. Like, I really enjoyed the movie, but, like, I feel that I feel this was like a glimpse into that, and it was as opposed to the actual story.
Well, maybe he doesn't have credible access to.
No.
You know,
I just,
maybe he wanted to stay away from that supposition, kind of side that went into a lot of the JFK things.
No.
More hearsay.
For me, I don't know. I just felt it was much more Hollywood than a lot more of his other films were. Like it was just like very clean. Like
Okay.
Like it only painted him as the hero.
Well, I mean, that's what one of the critiques, or comments that I have about it is that I kind of felt like in the end, it was similar to Blow, where at the end you're showing me this person that you're trying to drum up sympathy for them, but you've also shown me all of these horrific things that they have helped make happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, he finally, decided that he was going to, break the news, but he wrote the majority of the code that, at least in the movie, they show being responsible for a lot of this data collection. Right.
And already knowing or having mixed feelings about what was going on.
Right.
So knowing that it would probably be used for the worst case scenario.
Right. So, in the end of that's kind of like being a little hypocritical to be like, well, I was pretty sure they were going to misuse what I was going to write, but I thought I'd trust them again anyway.
Right.
Yeah, you couldn't possibly have been that naive.
Yeah, especially with all the access to everything.
Right.
And already, you're not the only one that feels this way.
Right. But I told you when I was finished with the movie, I have overall mixed feelings about the message.
Mm-hmm.
The scene where Corbin is talking about most Americans would gladly give up, freedom for security. I know a lot of people like to quote Franklin, those who value security over freedom deserve neither.
Right.
I don't necessarily wholeheartedly agree that was completely different scenario. And when Corbin is talking about your country needing to be the most informed, and later in the movie they were also discussing, like, well, he's ambivalent because in the end he's just trying to help his government be the most dominant government on the planet.
Right.
Well, if you got a better plan than having nations on the planet, I'm all for it. But right now, nobody else is going to jump on board with that. If suddenly one country on the planet was just like, you know what, I think we should all just do away with borders. Let's just all be one country. Everybody else would be like, yeah, you go ahead and do that. You can be that one country on the planet that does that. We're all going to stick with our borders.
Right.
So until people are willing to change that, I can't say that I disagree with the premise. Just
the level that
right.
they're going to.
The level of collection that was happening, and without oversight,
right,
is more the issue than we have. Like the programs that they were showing happening in Hawaii. Okay, well, they're hacking hackers.
Right.
Okay, well, if that's the new battlefield, that's the new battlefield. Yes, please try and keep our citizens safe.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, they're trying to do the same from us.
Right.
I don't quite understand. I've always saw those things as international, mafia hits. Like they talk about in Untouchables, the Chicago way.
Right.
You kill one of mine, I kill 10 of yours.
Right.
It's just on a larger scale. Like, I'm not a hippie by any stretch of the imagination, but how do you stop that? No one side ever goes, all right, well, you know what? I'm just going to throw my hands up. And whatever other countries do to us, we're going to let happen. How do we justify that to our own citizens?
Right. Yeah, it's great in concept, but it's never going to happen.
I love the utopia. If you can make everyone agree to it, I'm all down for it.
Well, that's why we need Ozymandias from Watchmen.
If he would have shown up at the end of that movie, I would have.
Oh man.
but I liked all of the set pieces. I liked the shots.
Yeah. There was a few points where I was just like, okay, this is just Oliver Stone being Oliver Stone with his weird shots. Like,
there's a couple of them. I know you thought that when he was starting to have his first epileptic seizure.
Right. I was just like, what? And then it made sense. But like the weird, like him walking down the hallway and like it's
the super candle flare.
Yeah, I was just like, why do we need this? Like, it's
the alien shot.
Yeah, like just so many, just like it almost reminded me a little bit of Bad Lieutenant. How it had those weird like animal shots. Like I got that vibe. Just instead of two scenes like that,
there wasn't an alligator.
Right, there was no alligator, there was no beardy, there was no iguana, and instead of like those scenes being like 2 minutes long each, there was like 20 like 5 to 15 second ones.
Give him credit, he broke it up for us.
yeah. But overall, I really enjoyed this. I was surprised by the cast though, because like I pretty much going in, I knew Gordon-Levitt and I knew Nic Cage, which is why I was watching it, but did not expect to see everybody else in this.
Tom Wilkinson.
Yeah, you have Tom Wilkinson, Zachary, Quinto,
Timothy Olyphant.
Yep, Timothy Olyphant. You've got Nic Cage. You've got what's his name? Clint Eastwood's son. I can't think of his name. But you've got him. You've got there was a couple other. Discount Tom Hardy. Guy from Upgrade. I can't think of his name.
Discount Tom Hardy.
He is.
I got
and then God, there was a few other ones. I'm blanking on who they are right now, but like I was just like, oh hey, I wonder if you're gonna be a big player. Oh no, okay. Oh yeah, and then the CIA guy, it was Rhys Ifans, I think it is. Maybe.
But that's kind of the Oliver Stone way too, like
Not true.
JFK was, you know,
Yeah.
John Candy and Jack Lemmon and all, you know, all these big names, and they're all jammed in here in these tiny little parts.
True. Yeah, Kevin Bacon's just a little tiny bit. Yeah, true. But yeah, I mean, he's still got really good performances out of them all. They were all very believable. Lot more likable characters in this than I was expecting. I was expecting it to paint more of the government as like everybody was evil except him. Like he was the only one that was able to do this. It was just completely corrupt, and it was like, okay, no, I'm glad that like these people were just like, I'm just doing my job. Like I feel bad about this, but this is my job.
Oh, you know, there are a lot of people that decided somebody has to do it.
Right.
I'm the best at this. If somebody else, you know, or at least they have the ego to believe that if someone else was doing it, that it wouldn't be done right.
Right. And yeah, like talk a little bit about spoilers here, but yeah, at the end, I really enjoyed like when he drops the chip on the ground and the friend walks in, looks down,
Covers it for him.
Yep, and just without saying anything, they started using sign language, which was a nice touch. It was just like, okay, all right.
Well, they had shown that earlier in the movie that when they first introduced each other, Clint Eastwood's son had said, well, yeah, and he speaks all these different languages, you know, including sign language. And
right.
That's when he signed to him, well, you know, I've taken some ASL as well, so they kind of set that up like, hey, we're going to show you later that this may be useful.
Right. No, that was well done. Like, I honestly forgot about it, and then it happened, I was just like, oh yeah, that was nice. Nice little setup and payoff. Like, I like that when that happens in movies.
Well, and the guy who had initially introduced him to the entire NSA program, I was just like, you know, maybe you should go back to the States, you know, see your doctor.
Yep, that was a good cover up for him, and yeah, like I really enjoyed his little circle of friends that were all kind of just like, okay, yeah,
right. Like, we're not so much about this, but what are we going to do about it?
Yeah, we're doing like twice as much in covering as much in the U.S. as anywhere else.
Deputy director of the NSA just lied to Congress. So who's going to believe us?
Right. And yeah, I really enjoyed the reporters as well. That whole side was fun. I enjoy like All the President's Men and that style of like investigative thriller. So it was nice to have in this. Also, and it had this ticking clock element throughout it. You know, so that was fun because they were basically giving the deadline to the
Guardian.
Yeah, it's the Guardian, or they were just going to self-publish.
Right. We need to get this out by, evening news time, East Coast, United States.
Right. Otherwise, we're just going to release it ourselves. Like, and yeah, that was really, really fun. But yeah, I mean, overall, I really enjoyed it. I just had I wish they had covered a few other aspects of, it was more gray than, no, this is how it happened. But overall, I really enjoyed it. I'd give it a 7 out of 10, probably.
I'll easily give it 7 out of 10, even with the dubstep.
I forgot about the dubstep. Yes, never again in the film, because there's this one part early on where he starts doing this hack thing for
a test.
Yeah, it's a test, and he starts doing it, and this dubstep music starts playing. And
they're talking about it. Normally takes candidates 5 hours to do this.
Oh yeah, 5 hours to do this, and a little dubstep montage of him hacking, and then he's just like, "All right, well, I'm done." And the guy's like, "You don't have to tell me when you finish each section." And he's like, "No, I'm done."
Right.
And it's like, it's been 40 minutes. 38, actually.
Right. Right. He goes, okay, I'm going to go show you what you did wrong.
Right. And he's just like,
checks it, asks him how he did it.
mm-hmm.
He starts explaining it. Instructor looks at everybody else and says, eyes front. You know?
Well, I love that. It was just like, well, you said you had to do this. You didn't say what order we had to do it.
Right, so we didn't have to do it in order, so I was running the backup at the same time that I was doing the other steps. Saving time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's like, so what do you want me to do with the rest of my time? He's like, whatever you want.
Yep. I can't teach you.
Right. You're good.
Yep.
You're definitely moving on in the program.
Yeah. But that was his downfall, though. I really do.
Because that was Corbin.
Right. But I do really wish they would have explored that side, because it was his... I almost feel it was his ego that was what kept him going. Like, because he knew how corrupt it was. He knew that this stuff would be used, but he wanted to be the guy that makes this stuff.
Yeah, you know, I that's what I was kind of comparing it to the blow aspect. You know,
Mm-hmm.
where like, you show me how horrible this person is, but then you want me to feel sorry for him at the end. They got buyer's remorse at the end. You know, like,
Right.
George never felt sorry for what he was doing.
Right.
He was more than willing to be selling drugs to whoever he wanted to sell them to. He's just upset that he got caught.
Mm-hmm.
And you want me to feel sorry for somebody who got caught that many times?
Mm-hmm. Well, and in this one I feel less less bad for him, because he knew it was wrong. So many steps of the way he had,
right.
like he quit his agencies because he knew how corrupt it was, like, and kept going back, and was always
surprised.
surprised.
First it was the CIA.
Yep.
In Geneva.
Yep.
With some of the Olyphant issue.
Yeah, that was fun. Like, they're just
because you're gonna call the police.
right. He's like,
get
why am I gonna
arrested.
call the police? Because he's drunk driving. He's not driving.
Yeah. So, well, and then, you know, the various other agencies. But so I agree with you.
Yeah.
But 7 out of 10, easy.
Yeah.
It's not anything that I'm just gonna be like, Sunday afternoon, I'm gonna pop on Snowden.
No.
But it's good.
But yeah, it's. I would rewatch it again. Probably not anytime this year or the next year. But it's not a movie that it would be like, no, I don't want to watch that again. Like, it's like, nah, it's very good. I'd highly recommend it. What did you guys think of it?
Yeah.
Let us know down in the comments. I'm sorry, what were you gonna say?
No, that's it.
Okay.
What about you? What about you, dog?
But yeah, did you have anything else you wanted to talk about this?
No.
Okay.
No, we're good.
But yeah, that's gonna wrap this up then. Stay tuned for a lot more content. Like I said earlier, we're got a couple more weeks left of the Summer of Nic Cage, and hope you all stay safe. Bye, y'all.